Swati madam, please begin.
Sir, shall we start?
Yes, please.
So, good afternoon to all the viewers and welcome Adina. So, basically, Adina is doing her PhD in Germany. So, her schooling from Bhutan, and she got admission in the bachelor's in the Infant Jesus College of Engineering. She done her BTech in aeronautical, and the institute is affiliated with the Anna University, Tamil Nadu. Basically, her interest is very keen in aerospace. Then she jumped deeper to the aerospace and joined Master in Aerospace from Karunya Institute of Technology and Sciences, and she passed out in 2018 from there. In her master, her contribution is lot. She chose topic that is injector parameters of rocket and engine, and she has published many papers in that also. And basically, she's very lucky. In 2019, she got offer as a assistant professor in Parul University, but at the same time, she got the admission in Germany for her PhD. And the one most important thing, she is the earlier career female scientist from the university, and it is full sponsorship by her university, and she is doing well. And the topic for her PhD is about the aerospace engine, manufacturing of aerospace engine. So, Adina, I welcome you in Parul University. Thank you so much for coming in very short notice. So I hand over to you. Please proceed. Welcome, Adina.
Thank you so much, Swati. So, guten Tag, everyone. Of course, I cannot see all of you all. So, I would directly start with my presentation. So, the first thing that I said was Guten Tag. That is actually the German for good day. And here I would be giving you an overview of all the aerospace career perspectives or opportunities that you can avail in Germany. Okay, so the first thing that you would think of when you want to go somewhere or when you want to do something is to ask the question why. Why is it Germany, or why do we want to go to a certain place? Okay, so the first thing is that makes Germany quite attractive is its free education policy. That is, the education is very affordable. It is completely free in all public universities, which means it does not require any tuition fees. And you would have a semester contribution, which is a very small amount, wherein you get your semester ticket. So with this semester ticket, you can avail 50% discounts in all canteens and in monuments, museums, or any attractive places that you want to visit. Furthermore, public transportation within the state of where your university is also completely free for all students. Then you have accommodation. So it's quite difficult to get accommodation here, and sometimes most of the apartments are completely unfurnished. Like you have to build your own apartment, build in the sense like setting up your kitchen and buying furnitures from the very scratch, and it can be very overwhelming. But for students, they have university apartments which are very cheap and also is fully furnished, all with a small semester fees. Then the next thing is the insurances. That is, every person in Germany, irrespective of their citizenship, are covered under the national security system by law. which means you have your health insurance, long-term care insurance, pension, employment loss insurance, accident insurances. Everything is already provided by the government under the statutory law. Then the third thing is, who among you wouldn't have at least dreamt of going to one of the European places, right? At least Switzerland or Paris, Italy, Spain, Portugal, just name it, and you can go. So it's also a wonderful opportunity where you can work, study, and also travel and have some adventurous sports and whatever hobby you want to name it, you can go and do it here. The fourth reason that I would like to share is that when you think about some engineering products or some equipments, what comes in there is always what is called as made in label, right? So in the made in label index, Germany comes as the world's top ranking. So it's first in the made in labels, which denotes its quality and perfectionist and finest of all products, right? So, for example, I have also seen in many hospitals in in India, where they advertise their equipments. Okay, we have finest quality X-ray machine made in Germany or have German quality. So the quality of all engineering products and equipments around the world is the best from is best from Germany. So why wouldn't you want to work here and be part of that finest quality products? And all of this is done with a very balanced work life situation, which is that you have 9 to 5 working hours you work, and after that your boss will not call you. You are not supposed to call anyone with respect to work. So this time is for your personal development or your personal space. You get 30 days of paid vacation with no reasons asked. If there are any nerds out there, I would like to warn you that you are obliged to take these vacation days. There is no excuse. So, and the weekends are also free. You do not work on Saturdays and Sundays, and no overtime. So, with all of this work life balance, you still attain the perfect quality and the finest products from Germany. Now, the next thing that I'd like to introduce you to is some of the most famous German industries that you can look out for and work for. Okay, the have you ever heard of, or I'm sure you have heard of all these companies, but did you know that these companies were headquartered in Germany? So you have Volkswagen, Audi, BMW, Mercedes, SAP as a technology, and then Porsche. Then you have Siemens, you have Bosch, you have Lufthansa. Lufthansa is German's airline. OHB is the satellite space and satellite company. Then you have DLR, which is similar to ISRO or German Space Center. So this is also one of the companies. So you might notice, so you all are aerospace companies. Why am I introducing all automobile companies to you? So when you study aerospace, it doesn't mean that you work always in aerospace or aeronautics tagged companies, right? There is aerospace is such a versatile and multidisciplinary engineering field where you can use or where you can transfer your skills to many of the other companies as well. That is one of the best privilege that we as an aerospace engineer have. So if you are an aerodynamist or you like aerodynamics or you like structures, you can use that skills to maybe make a better design or develop more modern technologies for your automobile vehicles, also for your trains like Elon Musk hyperloops. So all these are also based on the aerospace skills. So then some of the other literal aerospace tagged companies that are that have their branches in Germany are few like Lockheed Martin, Airbus, Rolls-Royce, Bombardier, Boeing, Liebherr, Collins, Dale, and you have the General Electrics. And the other two, which is the last two, that is Morpheus Space and Rocket Factory Augsburg. These are some startups that were spin-off from the universities. And there are so many other startups and many other small companies that have come up as the as the leaders for aerospace engineering. So then the next thing are research institutes. So here you can do your research and development activities. You can also do it in the industry, but this is purely research. So someone who is really interested in research, you can look for for institutes such as TLR. So TLR is the biggest research institute for aerospace, since it is the German Aerospace Center. Then you have all public universities have their individual team of R&D. So I am also working in an R&D team, and I'm not linked to the academic, as in I do not teach or I do not have any teaching activities and student activities. So as a researcher, I do supervise students for their theses, but I do not have any regular going to the university or classroom experience. So I'm completely in the research and development team. So these are some of the universities that that have their specifications in aerospace. So that is TU Dresden, that is where I am working right now. Then you have Technische Universität Berlin, Universität Stuttgart, RWTH Aachen, TU Munich, Bundeswehr University. So Bundeswehr University is the defense university where they deal with all the fighter jets. Then you have Technische Universität Bremen, Darmstadt, Karlsruhe, and Braunschweig. Next is Fraunhofer Institute. Then you have Leibniz Institute, Helmholtz Institute. Then you have Max Planck Institute. These institutes are not exactly aerospace tagged, but they are very refined in their research. For example, in Fraunhofer, you can have additive manufacturing, you can have studies on material compositions and how you can electrify them or how you can integrate electrifications in them, how you can combine different properties within the material. So all these things are the very finest detail that you would need as an aerospace engineer. For example, you want to build a body or build or find material for your turbine blades, for example, or you want to have the interiors of your cabin, exteriors of your flight. So all these things, all those finest details are all taken care of by all these institutes. So they have optical physics, you have battery system, you have fuel systems. So these are very, very, very specified. So in Germany, the things are not so broad. They have narrowed it down to very finest detail and they take care of it from the very scratch. That is how things are of highest quality and are the best in the world. So now you know what all companies and institutes are available. Now the thing would be, how can I move to Germany, right? So the first thing that you can do is, yes, you can come directly for employment. So this is quite a difficult path to take. So there are several opportunities. The first one is on-site opportunities. So when you come to Germany directly for work, it's expected out of you that you already have experience, working experience, and it's not. It's very difficult for any freshers to get into it. So one of the things that you can do is work in German company branches in India like Bosch or General Electrics or any other Lockheed Martin or Airbus. If you have the branches in India, work there, secure German projects, work with the Germans. long distance, then you can request for on-site opportunities. The second option is job seeking visa. So here too, you are also expected to have your experience, but the only difference is you can attain this visa and come to Germany for 6 months and look for a job from Germany itself. So some people, they really do it, especially when they're really experienced and they want to have a change in their career. They go for job seeking visa. And the third one is, of course, the dependent visa. It would be like you find some German spouse and marry them, and then come here as dependent visa. And this visa enables you that you can search for your job meanwhile you are dependent. So students are there, go and find someone from Germany so that you can come here directly for employment visa. Then the second part is the most common, and which every one of you must already know, is via education. Now, education doesn't mean that you come only for masters. There are also several categories with which you can come. So the first one is Ausbildung, or it is called as vocational training in Germany. So vocational training is where they teach you very high specific skill. They train you in that skill, and then you get employed in that. For example, if you are being a systems engineer or a structural engineer, you will be taught of what materials are there, how you can quality check them or control them, maintain them, and then maybe produce even new material combinations. So it's very, very specific. This option is available for all students who are willing to come here after their schooling. So you don't even need a bachelor's, you can directly come here after your schooling. The second thing is internships. You all know that internships are very, very important aspect when it comes to careers, not just in aerospace, but almost all engineering sectors, right? Just as you look for internships in companies outside, companies in India, why don't you look for internships in Germany? This can be an open path for you to take. It can be an opportunity. The reason is, once you come here, you are going to work, and the employers are going to learn who you are, what you're capable of, and what kind of contribution you can give to their company. So they get to know you indirectly. And Germans, they really don't like change, and they're very afraid of change. So when someone new comes, they really observe and learn them. So if you can sell yourself or give a good impression of yourself by working for your internships here in the German industries or institutes, you would obviously get an opportunity to come back for work as well. Then the third one is to come as exchange students. So I do not know if you have heard of the program that is ISTA, International Association for Student Training Exchange Programs, that is for the entire world. And it is it is an agreed bilateral memorandum between universities where students of third year, they go to countries and study a semester. So this is also a wonderful opportunity to come to Germany. But this, of course, is in the hands of the university. You can actually request them to have some collaborations with some of the German universities so that they can have some exchange semester during your studies. This also helps you to develop your networks within Germany. Then the next one is, you can obviously come for bachelor's with your 12th with your school leaving certificate. But one thing is that in Germany, schooling is for 13 years, not like 12 years like ours, but for 13 years. So for all foreign students, they have entrance exam. It's not so tough. It's nothing so tough. It's very basic, and they have an entrance exam just to confirm that you are eligible for the course because you have only 12 years of education or schooling. Then the next one is masters. So this is the most common one. No matter where you want to go, the first option that everyone thinks of is masters. Okay, I want to do masters just so that you can go to the country. There are people who are literally interested to do masters, and there are others who just uses master education just to get to the country. They may not be interested to do their masters, but they do it anyway so that they can get into the country. Here in Germany, people do, like local German students, what they do is they do Diplomarbeit. It is not diploma, it is actually a dual degree. And at the end of Diplomarbeit, you are equivalent to a master student. So during these terms, whether you are studying bachelor's or master's, it's always advisable that you do your internships. And this is also an opening to the industries or research institutes that you are dreaming to work for later part of your life, right? So when you do internship, as I told earlier, you are going to sell yourself, you're going to give the first impression to the company, you're going to get along with the employers, you're going to build your network, and this helps you to really focus your career. So once they're impressed with your work in internships, you can either continue in the same company, or you can choose another company with this particular company profile to upgrade your CV for your final thesis. So your bachelor's final thesis or your master's final thesis, you do it in the company that you did for your internship. They are going to be more impressed. They are going to value your contribution a lot, and you would be naturally recruited into the company because they know you, and they know your value, so they would recruit you. Then the next final thing is PhD. Of course, you can do your master's in India and come for PhD just as I did. You need not be an IIT graduate just to come for to do your PhD or work here in Germany. Any normal college or university is completely fine. So as long as you are enthusiastic. So I can tell you my story, that is when I applied and for interviews, what they interviewed was my enthusiasm. They never asked me anything technical. I was scared of, okay, what all they would ask. I may not know everything. I study so many subjects, but what they will ask. So that was always a problem, or that was really stressful for me. But in the end, the interview was very normal. It was just like a chat with your supposed to be team leader or supervisor, and he judges you how enthusiastic you are and what you can do to the industry or the company. So that's how I got my PhD. He did not check whether I was an IIT graduate. So from Germany, when you look from the perspective of Germany, whether you're an IIT graduate or whether you're Parul University or Karan University or any other universities that is not IIT, they are not going to know. And they do not judge you from which university you come from. They judge you for what you are and what you can contribute and what skill set you have. You just need to be honest and enthusiastic for to become PhD. So, on the topic of education, I would like to introduce you to DAD. DAD is the German Academic Exchange Service, and it is the largest repository of all the courses and trainings that is available in Germany. And it is also the source for where you can find your scholarships. So, scholarships are available for internships, for bachelor's, for master's, and also for PhD programs. But now it's very interesting, and you know that you have a lot of industries, you have a lot of opportunities and ways to move to Germany. But it is not all bed of roses. It also has this other side of the coin. And the first thing is Deutsch, that is German. Every official activities, whether it is documentations or meetings, everything will be done in German. So you need to know German. Even the local communication, that is within the supermarkets, or you want to go to the bank, post offices, or telecom services, you need to know German because they all speak German. They love their language so much that even if they do know English, they would say no, they wouldn't know that. And there are some people who would like to have. They will say, "Okay, my English is bad. I will try." They will say that, but when they say their English is bad, please keep in mind that they know better English than you. So that is how they are. But it is very necessary that you at least know the basics to ask, okay, can you speak in English? Or can you transfer me to a colleague who speaks in English? So at least you need to be able to say this in German. So this is one of the biggest disadvantage that I feel most of the students are reluctant to take. And this is also one of the cultural shock. Of course, like within my team, we speak in English, and everyone knows English, especially in the universities. They know English, but all official documents, it's by law that is only valid if it is in German. Of course, you can translate it, but it would be always beneficial that you have German. And having German also boosts up your CV when it comes to applying for jobs. But don't worry, German is not tough. It is very easy. It has the English alphabets, just the pronunciation is different. And it is a phonetic language, which means it is pronounced as is written. So it is easy, and if you know English, the grammar is also the same, so you wouldn't find it difficult. But it is highly recommended for all students or anyone who is coming to Germany to at least know the basics of German. And as I said, the vocational training is unfortunately also provided completely in German. There are no English courses. And for bachelor's and master's, the options are very, very less for English course. Like you wouldn't have any choice. You might have to go just for what is available. But if you want choice, if you want to really get into working in Germany, then I highly recommend that you learn German. And the next thing is, please be prepared that when you come to Germany, that you're willing to be independent and to do all your tasks on your own. Everything has, of course, you can ask for help, but that is a different thing. But here, they value your independence a lot, and they expect you to do everything on your own from the very beginning. It can be very overwhelming in the beginning because, yeah, you're in a new country, you do not know what to do, how to do. Well, they kind of expect that you know everything, like proper recycling of the waste or proper following of the traffic rules, no jaywalking, then being punctual. Germans are very punctual and they hate people who come late. So being punctual and all the documents like um, yeah, from coming here to, from your visa applications, from coming here, from finding an accommodation, from registering it, and everything you are expected to do on your own. But don't worry, there are people you can ask for help. It can be your fellow Indians or your or other German people. They are always willing to help, but yeah, it can take a lot of time. The second thing is this particular quote that is very much true for the Germans. So in India, you can say "Hello, Bhaiya," and then you are friends. You don't need anything more than that, right? You're friends, and that's it. But here, you earn friendship, you earn respect. So they do not naturally give all these things to you. They can be complete strangers to you until you earn their friendship and loyalty. Okay. Then honesty is appreciated. Germans are brutally honest. They're really honest. They're so truthful that they do not sugarcoat anything. They say it's kind of waste of the time, but of course they do not keep anything in any grudges or anything in their mind, but they tell what they want to tell. Sometimes it can be hurtful. This is also one of the biggest cultural shock that most foreign students experience here in Germany. So once you get your respect and honest, and you accept honesty, or you understand the Germans, you gain friendship, you gain love, you gain loyalty. They can be the most loyal person that you can be with. They will not backstab you or betray you, and yeah, they will be genuinely a friend or a company for you. And the next thing is, well, Germany, they really love bureaucracy and paperwork. And it is so complicated and it takes a lot of time. Um, I cannot say they truly love it, they just have it. Even the Germans, they hate bureaucracy. They the paperwork takes a lot of time. For example, in my case, I can give you an example where I came to Germany and I wanted to open my bank account so that I can transfer the blocked account amount for my living here. So what happened is, what I should first do is that I should register my address. So I have to book an appointment for that, which you will not get immediately. You would get after 2 to 3 days, or if you're lucky, in 2 to 3 days, or after 1 or 2 weeks. So it depends. Then you get your appointment. You go there. You register your address. You get a sheet where they give you the address. With that address, you go to the respective bank where you want to open your account, and then you open. So the people there would help you to open it. And then they will say all your documents will come via post. Everything here will come via post, all official documents will come via post. And so what happened was, yeah, I went there, opened my bank account, and after 2 to 3 days, I got the first letter, which was a confirmation letter that I had opened the bank. And there in that letter, it was written that my PIN code and ATM cards will come in the following letters. After 2 to 3 days, they sent the PIN code. There was no card, but a temporary PIN code. So my card should follow later. Again, after 4 days, I got my card. But still, that is not all. You need to get your transaction code, which again took another 4 days. So in overall, I had to wait 2 weeks to just get my bank account. So after you get your transaction code, then you go to an ATM, then you activate your card, you change all the codes, and that's when your account is completely open. So, uh, so please bear in mind that all these things can really take a lot of time, and it can be quite frustrating at times. So, and talking about this, I would like to also introduce you to one of the study consultancy, which is WBC Study Link. It's based on a startup here by a friend of mine, and it has a branch in India, in Kerala. So they actually take into consideration all these bureaucratic works, and they also take care of all the admissions that is possible in all different fields. So unlike the normal consultancies in India, where they push you to the uh, universities that they have tie up with, that's usually the private ones. They do not encourage, or they are not interested to send you to any public universities, because they do not get anything, because public universities don't opt for any corporations from all consultancies. So here they deal with all these things. They also help you from planning to executing to the first month of settlement. I trust them because I also came through them. If it weren't for them, I would have been, let's say, on the streets, because basically it just took me 1 month to actually get settled here, because of the delays in appointments and getting the documents. So they told me and they want me that to carry some cash in my travel card. Because of that, I had I was able to survive the first month. Otherwise, these bureaucracies can really be quite nerve breaking. And on the topic of bureaucracy, I like to introduce you to some of the aspects of living in Germany. So, the first thing for PR is 5 years of employment plus B1 German. So as a student, your years are not counted, but for PhD is an exception because PhD is considered as an employment here. So the years of your PhD is counted. So 5 years plus B1 German, you will get your permanent residence. Then another thing is blue card. So this is actually applicable for all those who are directly coming to Germany for employment. So for this, you need an university degree and also a job offer from Germany, which offers you a salary of 56,800 euros per year. Excuse me, or 44,304 euros for skilled professionals. So when I say skilled professionals, they are all engineers like mechanical, electrical, civil, aerospace, engineers, doctors, nurses, IT technicians, consultants, data analysts. All these people come under the category of skilled professionals. They have lots of companies and they have lots of opportunities, but they do not have the workforce that is required to run them. So they are highly encouraging immigrants of skilled immigrants to come here and work here in Germany. So if you can get the salary of this much and a good job here, you can directly come here under blue card. And the last thing is citizenship. So for citizenship, you need to live 8 years with your permanent residence, and then you would get your citizenship. So that's it. So vielen Dank. That is again thank you in German. So I'm open for all your questions that you might want to ask.
Adina, thank you. The session is very nice. So I have one question for you.
Mhm.
If the students are in the second year, so what is the
Okay.
process to apply for like semester exchange? Like if they want to do by themselves or for the internship, paid internship.
Yes, they can do for their paid internship. All they have to do is send their CV, their cover letter, and their motivation to do the internship or what they want to do internship in to the respective company or the university they want to do it. Okay, for industries, it would be engineering aspects, and for universities, it would be more research based. For paid internship, it there are some open calls in the websites of the industry and universities where they call for internships and you can apply for that position. But it's quite rare to find such things. And another thing is what I talked about is the DAD scholarship. So DAD scholarship actually offers funding for internships that you can do here in Germany. Otherwise, what usually what people do is voluntary internship, where it is actually unpaid, and you might have to, take your own expenses for the stay that you stay here. But that is only for your living expense. Sometimes the companies are usually obliged to pay you for your internship. So they would find one way or the other to get the funding, but that is after you come here. So it is very important that you have your enthusiasm and you're willing to do non-paid internships sometimes to actually come here and get the opportunity.
And then the second question is like, suppose a
Mhm.
student is doing masters. So,
Okay.
like, it is mandatory that he or she can apply, or he or she can mandatory to learn the German. It is mandatory for the masters.
It's not mandatory. I just mean that your choice or your options to select will be very less because most of the courses, like 90% of the courses, are in German. So only the rest 10% would be in English. So your choice is very limited. So you might have CFD simulation as one of your majors. Um, but you are not interested in it, but that is the only course that is offered in English, then you might have to take it. So that is it. So whatever you get for English, you just need to take it. You don't have an option to choose. Okay, I don't like it, or I am not an expert in this. I don't want to do it. So yeah, the area to choose will be reduced greatly if you don't know German. But there are, of course, English courses, or even for aerospace engineering, there are lots of English courses, but the option would be very less.
Then, what is like a student want to continue the same MTech project in PhD? So, what is the process in Germany to do that? Like with the same university?
Same university, like I didn't get the question. You are doing masters in India,
Like,
or you are
yeah,
doing masters in
no, no,
Germany?
Germany. Then same thing, he and she wants to continue for the
Mhm.
masters.
Yes, you can definitely do that because first, as I said, you do your thesis in the research and development department of the university of your respective department. You can do there, or you can do it in the industry. So all these industries and research and development, they are ongoing projects. So once you do your thesis there and they know who you are, they are impressed by who you are, they are always welcome, or they are always willing to take you in for your PhD positions. So there, they would already inform you during the thesis, okay, this project is going on. If you're interested, you can apply for your PhD or continue working on this. That they themselves would say. And the other thing is you can also always look at the websites for open calls, and you can get the same, thesis or PhD work. And if you want to continue your own master thesis as PhD, um, what you can do is go for open PhD position, which is very common for German applicants. That is like you create your own project. So you should be willing to network. You should be willing to create projects on your own, build a proposal. Of course, your supervisor would help, but build a proposal, meet with your partners, collaborate with your partners, and find fundings, and and then go for it. So that's how it is traditionally done. It's called traditional PhD, and you can do what you like to do if there is no open calls in your field. Usually, master theses are offered from the already existing projects, and they are long term ongoing projects. So, if you're a good student, you're naturally welcome to continue in the project with them.
Okay, Alina. So now I will thank you for your precious time. And first of all, I would like to thank our sir, Dr. Vijay Patidar sir. He has given me opportunity to invite and give a great exposure to the students and even our colleague also. And from my bottom of my heart, I express you my grateful gratitude. Okay, and thank you so much, Elena. Like, I just asked you and you said yes. I'm available. I can do for the students. Thank you so much, and literally thank you so much from this institute and this university. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you,
students,
Swati.
as well. Too. Okay,
Okay.
okay, Adina.
Thank you, Swati, and thank you to all the team of Parul University for having me here. And it was a pleasure to meeting with you and talking with all the opportunities here. And I hope to see some of you here in the near future. So, yeah, thank you
Thank you. Okay,
and
thank you
bye.
so much.